Hey everyone, hi, this is Parag. It's been a while I've made a YouTube video. I've just been busy with my work, okay? So I got an internship this summer. So I've been busy working on that and I decided to make a video after a long while on SQL as usual because I'm quite skilled in it, okay? So let's start off by understanding some of the this particular question which I found which is quite useful, particularly if you are would be working in a product-based companies. Such questions are quite useful to do, and I would explain you guys the solution and how to do it, and the breakdown behind it. Okay, so let's get started. Let me share my screen first. Share screen. Mm, okay. Okay. I hope you guys can see the screen if I'm correct. Okay. Yeah. Mm, so let me see. Uh, okay. I just made a mistake or something. Let me just reshare. Um, how was that? Share screen, screen one, screen two. Okay. Okay. I think I hope you guys can see it. Okay. So so we have two tables in here. Okay. So if you observe these two tables in here, you can see that it basically covers up two things. One is it basically has the user ID and it has the name of the customers. Okay, just imagine this is an Amazon user base. Okay, and this is join date, which basically says that let's say you create an account on when the first time you sign on Amazon, that's the join date of all these users. Okay, and then the respective user ID that I've mentioned here. And this is another table which mentions the type of product that they have purchased and when do they purchased. Okay, as we know, Amazon has a lot of different products. Okay, that includes like of Amazon Pay, Amazon Music, and eventually the Prime subscription. Okay, so these are dates on which they purchased the each of the subscriptions. Okay, and now the question that we have been asked to understand is that so you have the two tables, return the fraction of users rounded to two decimal places, okay, who access Amazon Music and upgraded to Prime membership within the first 30 days of signing up, okay. So the question you have to understand is that they want users who have, so the chain of understanding should be in this way, that certain customers use Amazon Pay or Amazon Music first, and then they go to Amazon Prime. So that is the way. So people are always buying music first, and then the Prime subscription is eventually bought. So that's what's happening here. Okay. So if you observe user number two in here, okay, the user number two purchased music, ended up, accessing music on 3rd of, 2nd of March, and eventually purchased it on 12th of March. Okay. So, that's the thing. So what we want is that all the customers, Amazon, who access Amazon Music in particular, and how many of those customers who accessed it bought Prime membership within 30 days. Okay, so you have to understand they need people who are and P here stands for the Prime subscription, and pay is something we do not need. Okay, but it's been there. So yeah, that's the basically the understanding of the question. So if there are 5 people who have purchasing Amazon Music and two are purchasing two are actually buying after it. So the question we want is something like 2 by 5, um, which is eventually equals to 40%, something like that. So that is what we're looking at. So, so this is the create statement, which I will post it in the post it below here in the comments. I would say I will post it in the comment section, so you guys can also start off creating for yourself. And yeah, so as you see, so what I've done in here is that, as I mentioned that, okay, I only want somebody who is subscribing to music. So what I have done in here is that I have used the music subscribed here and used a where statement, select everything. So if you look at this, the events table, this is the Amazon users table. So from the events table, what I've done is that, first of all, I'll just let you guys know that it's better if you guys try it out on your own first, okay? And by trying out, I don't mean you need to be able to solve this question. So a lot of people do this mistake of, okay, if they're not able to solve something, they spend an hour, 2 hours just trying it on themselves. I have this rule which has helped me get good at SQL, and that rule is that if in the first 15 minutes of uh, for the first 15 minutes, you need to just sit down and just write some on pen and paper, okay? Something, it doesn't has to be a solution. It has to be a logical, a pseudocode, okay? Or just a logical way of thinking of how you would go about solving. So do not just jump into writing a code. That's a mistake everyone commits, okay? So what you need to do is just for the first 15 minutes, sit with pen and paper. Do not write a code. Do not start writing select star everything. Do not do that, okay? And once you're able to write for the first 15 minutes, write down all the thoughts you might have on pen and paper. And then for the next 15 minutes, what you need to do is you need to write starting code. Okay. You need to be able to write the code in the next 15 minutes. So 15, 15. And after this 30 minutes of self-trying, you're not able to do it. Come back to the video and start the solution. Do not waste a lot of time because you have a lot of questions to solve, which will eventually help you get better. So don't be so obsessed with one of these questions, but try for at least 30 minutes in two parts. One, 15 minutes pen and paper, and the other 15 minutes has to be on the writing a code. So as I mentioned earlier on, okay, what I'm going to do is that as I need only people who have bought first music and then bought Prime, okay. So if I'm finding so from this events, okay, when I run this table, okay, I'll just run music here and you observe. So this gives me from the events table the people who have just purchased music, okay. And now the same, now I'm going to do it for, for the people who have bought Prime, okay. So this is another comment, okay, another query for people who purchase Prime. So this is basically gives you the Prime. Now you have to understand this particular query is quite important, okay. Now what it does is that you have to understand. So what I've done in here is that so I'm joining two types of joins I'm doing here. I'm performing inner join and performing inner left join, okay. So you have to understand. So you remember AU, which is basically an Amazon users. Okay, I'm gonna join the users table and performing inner join using the music subscribe table. Okay, now why am I particularly doing it? I'm doing it primarily for two reasons. One, I need people who are I want the commonality. So the music is the starter point. So it's very important for us that music should be there. Okay, so we need to count me. That's the reason I'm performing inner join between them. Now, I'm performing left join with Prime subscribed is because I do not need to do inner join because I'm fine with some of the users not having any values. Okay. I'm fine with some of the users which are not Prime subscribed. Okay. So if you observe, I'll just run this query, show you guys something. Okay. So if you observe some of them, okay, if you look who are two prime purchases, 2, 1, and 3. So there are 2, 1, and 3 which have purchased Prime. But if you observe 2, 3, 4 are the ones which have purchased music. So if I do an inner join, it will only show me 2 and 3, which is wrong because I need 2, 3, and 4. Why? Because I need people even if who have all got access to music. So that's the logic behind it. That's the reason so you have to understand. So it's very important to understand when to. People say just use left join all the time. No, that's a wrong question. You need to understand the reason behind when to use an inner join and when to use a left join. Okay, so in left join, you have to understand. I don't need all the elements from the Prime subscribe table, so I'm only selecting certain, but I need everything from the Amazon users, and that's the reason I'm joining this on this. Okay. So understood. I hope you understood this logic. Okay, if you do not, you can email me and I'll explain it to you if you need anything. Okay, another important this thing is that the date difference table. So what I've done, and just look in here what I've done in here. Okay, so you have to understand that which dates do I want? Okay, the difference between, as the question says, okay, 30 days from the signing up. Okay, so I don't care about what's happening, which date of the music. It is important that the music has to be there, but I do not care about when they access the music. I only care when they access the Prime. Access means when they purchase the Prime membership. Okay, so yeah. So so there's a reason. Okay, if you observe, I'm taking everything from Amazon users. Okay, that's right. Okay, with me, I want all the data from here. and I want the PS access date. So I want only these dates, 2023 and this one, these dates. Okay, and these are quite important. Inner join and FI. Now, what I've done in here, the date difference table I've used. Okay, I've used another CTE, and I'm selecting everything from this table, audience. Okay, and what I'm doing in here is that I'm actually using date difference. Okay, and I'm using day, join date, and prime date. I want to find the difference between them. Okay, so I did use this way to find the difference between both of them, and I'm able to do it. Now, what I need to do in here is that I need to find the count. So remember I had done um, like the difference, I would say. So if I had to just show you guys, okay, something here. Select everything from date difference table, date difference table. Okay, I hope this is right. Okay, and let's run this code. Okay. Okay, I think this is a mistake. What's wrong here? Let's see. Select everything. Okay. Okay. Um, as you can see here, so what has happened in here is this particular code in here is that um, so remember I had used AU, left join, inner join, and it has only selected those. It has selected the join date, which from the Amazon user table, and it's selected the prime date, which is basically the prime subscribed table, the date of the prime subscribed, and it's calculating a date difference. And you see, that's a reason. Okay, I wanted purposely this to be a null join. If you did an inner join, this would have just been 2 and 3, which has been a wrong answer. So we wouldn't have been able to calculate the fraction. Okay, so I'm going to delete it for you if you're understanding. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is that, okay, select count everything as total music users, count case when the difference. So you have to understand what I'm doing in here is that, okay, so I'm counting those which basically have less than 30, which I want basically this one. Okay, that's the reason I'm using this count function, case when date difference is less than or equals to 30, then one end as prime subscribers. Okay, and then I'm using then we have to do what do you say, we have to perform fraction. Okay, so as I remembered, as I told you, it's 2 by 5. So what I've done in here is that I've used the difference, this particular count divided by count uh, by the total one. Okay, so I use this in here to multiply by 1 because ideally I get a 0 if I do it, because I need to convert this into a float, a decimal. That's the reason I use, though I know the answer is 1, so I'm proposing 1 into 1.0, so do 1.0 divided by 3. And then I'm using round function also to, because we have to round it up to 2 decimal places. And now the thing is that in MySQL, if you do this much, it's enough. Okay, but as we are using SQL Server, that is not enough. So we had to use cast. So this is something syntax that you probably have to remember. So cast as decimal 10 by 10 and comma 2 as fraction users. Okay, so when I run this particular query, okay, and okay, you see in here, I'm getting total music users, which was 3. I counted as you remember, and the prime subscriber is only 1 because of the 27.1 date difference, and fraction is 0.33. So it's a very good question, particularly to understand, and this is a very important question to understand, and has a good logic behind it. Okay, so I was pretty impressed with this question, and yeah. So I am going to stop sharing. And if you have any queries, please let me know. And this was a pretty good question. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I think that would be an end. I would try for the coming videos. I really want to start, making a lot more videos. I would say it really helps me to explain people. Like I really believe in if I've learned a certain way and to give it back to people, that's something I believe is quite important. So I'm going to end the video, and I'm going to try to be very consistent with my YouTube uploads. And yeah, that's about it. And have a good day. Take care. See ya. Bye bye.